Okay, hang on. Fuck, I got videos here. Novak sent a video. Why is everyone a druid now? Oh, itmeJP, the fucking video's out. Alright, fuck this game. Hang on. I want to see this. Okay, mute that. Bang.
Let's bring on our guest, because I think that's why everyone's here. I love that he joined the call. I don't think you guys could see this. I don't know if he thought anyone could ever see this. With the username, The Dark Urge. That's how, that's how our guest today from Larian Studios, Sven, The Dark Urge. How's it going, sir? Welcome to Drop Frame. Welcome back, I should say, to Drop Frames. It's been 2 years since we've spoken.
It's been 2 years indeed. Hello, all of you. How are you doing?
We're doing well. We're doing well. But
it is awesome to see you. Real quick, just to start the show off on the right foot, Reynoldur had a question. If a halfling gets a game over screen, if it sleeps with Halsin in bear form, the floor is yours.
We need to hire him them as a writer.
I think that's a good place to start. Jokes aside, like the past month, it's been bears. Bears are all the rage. Sven, like, did you expect that to go public when it did, and how it did, and like, how are you guys writing the like marketing aspect of the fact that you can have some extracurricular activities with bears and maybe other?
So I've seen the beginning. They talk a lot about the bear sex scene. It's funny and, you know, good vibes and all that, but
how much will our class
I don't need to hear more about that.
Affect the story and quests in the world? I know it's kind of an open-ended question, but just kind of in your own words, how would you say that would affect it?
I find it quite amazing, actually, how much it does. So I have this. Well, I mean, like there was a run that really I thought it was really amazing is when I played a gift druid.
A what druid?
There's a
gift druid. What is a gift druid? Am I crazy? Oh, Githonki, whatever the heck. Okay, yeah. Is it gift?
There's a lot of druid reactivity, a lot of gift reactivity in certain sections of the game, and it was really very different from the previous run where I had not played as that. So I'm not going to say or claim that for every single permutation you're going to have these big things, but there are ones where you're going to really say, "Oh wow, that is really different because I am." Of this race, or I am of this class. It really lets you play to the role in a lot of ways. We had a team that's been busy in the last year specifically. We call it the tag reactivity team. So they just went through all of the content and they just said, okay, well, what can we do for each class, each race to augment the feeling that you are that race and class in that specific situation, right? And so they did a lot of stuff that I hadn't seen yet. So I've only really been seeing it in the last couple of months playing through it. And I say, wow, okay, this was really good. This was I felt like a paladin. I felt like a druid. I felt like a sorcerer or a wizard here. And so it's fun. I would say that for the races, there it depends a little bit on which type of race. If you're Dragonborn or you're Gif, or your drow, you will certainly have quite a lot of reactivity. If you're more of the normal races like dwarves and elves, then that's going to be more clustered in the same things. You will still get it. So it's asymmetric, but I think that's normal. But it does. It's not going to happen that you've played as a class or as a race and you have not felt like that.
All right, I'm going to skip forward some stuff. Will Baldur's Gate 3 be on the Steam Deck?
Yes,
I know
exactly,
that.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's correct. You can,
Also, just a quick yes or no one. Brett Assassin on Twitter was wondering if you anticipate the game being Steam Deck verified at or at some point shortly after launch.
It's a really good question. We are actually trying. So there was a new version of Proton that came out. Proton Experimental was just like yesterday, I think. So we're working on it. So we're trying to get it there. It might not be there on the day of release, but it's not very far off. So
awesome.
We're working.
Okay.
We got. Well, I mean, like literally, was looking at it yesterday.
Cool. Cool.
Great.
You were talking with or answering code just now in terms of talking with chat. Is there any plans for, this is a very streamer centric question, any plans for Twitch integration somewhere down the line?
I was here for this.
There is.
Oh, there is.
There's actually, there's Twitch integration.
They didn't ask what the Twitch integration was going to be.
Yeah,
Fantastic. I was not aware.
That's going to be upgraded and updated.
What is it?
On day of live.
Sure, it's there, but what is
you
it?
can also switch off bear sex if you want. There's a button.
I'll hold you to that.
I'm wondering if there's going to be a category. Like, is that going to be a category on like the new category?
Chat votes for stuff. Okay, so basically pretty basic. Whatever. I'm probably not going to use it. Number one, I wouldn't want to sit there and just like wait while votes get tallied for every dialogue option. I'd fucking lose my mind. And two, I feel like chat would just kill everyone, which is funny until it gets really boring.
Category system,
'Cause everyone's
like
dead.
excessive bear sex.
No, but realistically, is there also a toggle to only allow bear sex?
Well, that would require.
But for those on Twitch who are looking to involve the viewers in making the big decisions that change the game, viewers can vote on dialogue choices as they occur in real time. In addition, they can interact with the overlay to check out character stats, inventory, and other critical info without pestering the streamer to spend time constantly. Okay. Oh. So you can basically open my inventory and just look at my shit yourself. That's awesome. Thank God. I'd get so annoyed at these questions. What spec are you? Which one did you go? Can you show me your gear? What are your prepared spells? Fucking fuckers. On mobile, they will still ask. Ban them.
The three of you to play druids, pick bear as wild shape and just stick around in the same area. I mean, pick a corner in the forest and just.
Hey, I'm down if you guys are.
You know what? On a slightly less bear sexy note, Cookie Knight on Twitter was wondering, how will multi-classing affect class-specific dialogue, particularly if you have the same level in multiple classes?
So in the dialogues, you get them all.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So if you are a thief, if you're a rogue and you're a wizard, you get the options for rogue and then you'll get the options for wizards in your dialogue.
Awesome.
So they'll
Just options.
attack.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. You get extra options because you know them both. And that works pretty well, actually.
Sweet.
Excellent.
Oh, that's actually neat.
This is a bit of a broader question, and this is one I'm very interested in too. Redditor Arc724 says, I'm very curious about the...
Yeah, just play one of every class. Just level 1 everything. I'm a druid. I know all about this. Ah, yes. Wizard spells, of course. I studied this. I'm a man of the paladin. The light.
struggles they went through with 5E's resource attrition and rest systems and translating that into the game.
Yeah, it's we've been a little bit all over the place with that through the entire development, trying stuff out. We settled now on our camp supply system, where supplies is actually the thing that defines whether or not you're going to be able to get fully rested, yes or no. We experimented with, we call them danger zones where you can't rest. So, you know, if you played the original games, there were moments like, oh my God, I can't because I'm in this dungeon. And so it was really a question of resource management. Turns out most playtesters hated it. So we still have a couple of them where it really makes narrative sense, but we had to remove quite a few of them, of these danger zones, because our combats are quite intense. And so they usually come out with like 1 HP after a combat. And so they really need to rest. And if they then have to walk outside of a dungeon to be able to rest, to then go back into the dungeon, that turned out to not be that much fun. So we reduced that. So right now we have a system where you take your camp supplies. You can go camp wherever, unless you're in a danger zone. And if you're in a danger zone, your map is going to be red, so you'll know that you can't rest there. And there's quite a lot of locations, but not as much as we initially planned. Initially, we thought that resource attrition was going to turn out to be a lot of fun, but yeah, it turned out.
I think the one thing, I'm pretty sure people said there's a lot less camp supplies in the actual release. So in order to do a long rest, you have to spend 40 camp supplies. 1 carrot
that you would randomly find in a box is like considered 8 camp supplies, and a potato is 5. You have like infinite camp supplies. I want to say by the time Vicky and I stopped playing, we had like 800 or something absurd, and it cost 40 to do a long rest. Is it true that they nerfed it? But that's early access only. Again, on the full release, you both are pack rats. I mean, we looted everything. Every single box, everything, every dialogue, we completely dissected the first, well, we only really went to the Druid Grove. You get on the ship, get off the ship, go to the Druid Grove, and that's all we did, which wasn't very much. You missed a lot, though. Well, the point is, I'm just saying, for what we did do, we dissected everything, and we had so many camp supplies, we could spam long rest like crazy. It's almost like it doesn't even need to be in the game, is how it felt. Just fucking replenish my spells. I guess for the roleplay purposes of going to bed and, like, fucking your love interest at night, sure, but I don't know. What difficulty? There's only one difficulty in early access. Anyways, no one's saying anything, so maybe they didn't nerf it.
People don't generally like losing things slowly in video games.
Sure. Yeah, makes sense.
Just real quick, I just had a real quick one. People want to play this on their Steam Deck. Is it optimized? Is it good to play?
Look, I'm always so interested, and we always talk about this whenever anything happens in the industry with so many other game companies. Like, how do you keep Larian and not like fall into these pitfalls that, are in this industry? Because there's so many of these
seeing
days.
over and over
Yeah,
and over.
like it seems to just cyclical almost every year, where like another company does X thing, but Larian remains Larian. Like, what is it that you think makes that happen? If you can pinpoint it, yeah.
I don't know what the answer. I mean, like, I can't judge for others. I think we're a company, but there's many companies like that. So we really very care a lot about what we're making. We've always had this thing where we have quality, time, and budget, and time and budget are subjugated to quality. Which is not necessarily always the smartest thing, but it's been the company, and it's what we want to do. We don't want to do it differently. So, and that passion you'll find across the team. It's everywhere, and people will always say, well, if you join us, you got to be prepared. We're going to redo things. We're going to redo them, and that's not for everybody. Not everybody can handle that, and it's fine, which is okay. But we are the ones that will redo it until we think it's fun. Because otherwise we're not gonna, we don't like it. We literally are, I think maybe that's the best one to capture it. We really want to play this thing ourselves and enjoy it. And so we will do everything so that we will enjoy it to the point that we can't anymore because we overdid it, which happens. And I think that's, and because because of the way that it's structured, I guess that's the thing. So I'm not, as long as I'm going to be running this, this is going to be the way, right? It's going to always be, we're just going to make something that we want to play ourselves. And as long as we have a good sense
how does Larian keep its culture while expanding? Look how much.
What we like is what the audience likes, we will be okay. In the moment that what we like doesn't
is he going to keep talking?
But that's the way it is. I mean, like, but I would hate to make something where I can't be proud of.
As wholesome as that is, I don't need to hear more.
It's raw, visceral emotion. Will druids be able to talk to Boo?
Who is Boo?
Ha! The question. We debated that question for a very long time. So if you wild shape, you can talk to other animals. It's one of the ways that you can talk to animals.
It's a giant space hamster.
With my cat, I made it a point of turning into a cat whenever I saw a rat. But Boo is special. Boo is special. And exactly how special, you'll have to find out yourself.
Follow-up question. When you picked Samuel L. Jackson to voice him, how did that process go?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to hype this up because no, but we actually the mystery of Boo is that it's the mystery of Boo, so we wanted to leave it alone. So I think you'll find a really good Minsk. At least I enjoy him. You'll because obviously you're mind melding with one another. So because of the
of what you guys were thinking with this. So a lot of 5e players noticed that there was no dodge action. Is that like how did that thinking come around? Is it there in different forms? Like how does that work?
No, it's not in there. So that's the there's no ready, there's no dodge. So those are there's so whether or not that's the right decision, we'll see with the mods. If people are going to mod it in, it's possible.
Probably already have.
But I mean, like, yeah, exactly. So, but we're not shipping with it.
Okay,
Cool.
Kind of a more broad, open-end development question. This is from Enzeval on Twitter. What was the hardest thing to make for you in the game? What was the thing that you most iterated on? And on the other side, what was surprisingly
this is going to be
easy
interesting.
for you?
So the hardest one was actually the bit that we made during COVID. That was the hardest bit, just because it was we were working in completely different circumstances than we were used to. So it was very hard to make those bits. I got to say that the ones that were the easiest ones, but in hindsight, it should have been predicted, right? So we had this city that we were making, and we were afraid of the city, but we worked hard on the city. But to be fair, that was probably easier than making the bit that we made during COVID, even if the city was such a big thing with so much content going on. And this particular game, I think that would be the thing. The hardest one would have been everything we made during COVID, just because it was such a dark time. Conversely, we also it's a dark section in the game, which I realized afterwards. So that's funny. Actually, we made one of the darkest sections in the game is what we made during this darkest time in our development career. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
And a lot of that worked out. Also, going back to kind of the early access process, Arc of Aether on Twitter is wondering if there are any particular character class interactions in early access that most players missed. That you looking at your data.
Sorry, can you say that again, Cool? Sorry, I missed you
they were
there.
wondering, are there any particular character or class interactions in early access that most players missed? Was there anything in the early access that was like that you saw in your data?
Yeah, so I personally don't look that much at the data because otherwise it's going to influence me too much. I sometimes tell the team like, oh, nobody picks that option, but I actually don't really know what I'm talking about. So I wouldn't be able. I would have to ask one of our analytics guys to tell you the answer. So I don't know.
Cool.
Very cool.
I kind of outside of the game, outside of Baldur's Gate, just real quick, personal question for you. Did you have like a comfort game or a piece of media that you would revisit or constantly play, like when you weren't playing Baldur's Gate for the umpteenth time, that you would often go to during the 6 years of development?
Yeah, it's painful because I'm so bad at it. It's Into the Breach on my Switch.
Nice. Great one. Great one.
I suck so hard at it. And I just keep on going back to it. It's ridiculous because I travel a lot for my job and I am on the plane and I got all these games that I load on my Switch and I just keep on going back to Into the Breach.
Hey, it's comfort. That's how it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing wrong with that,
Yeah,
man.
nothing wrong
That's
with
a
that
great
at all.
one.
Yeah, dude. My Steam says I have over 300 hours.
All right, Twins cover game. Will there be a
Onion is
dungeon master
wondering,
tool?
Will there ever be a dungeon master tool with ways for people to create their custom campaigns and maps for their own D&D campaigns?
So no, I don't think, because that would be a huge undertaking in its own to do
Massive.
it really. Yeah, exactly. So I wish we had it because it would make our jobs easier. So no, I don't think we're going to be doing that. It's
God, that'd be sick if people could like basically custom maps. I'll always custom maps are always so fucking good, but yeah, they're just not gonna have it. All right, maybe it will happen.
Because it
Maybe.
would be very complicated.
Is that
I'm not
something
saying
that
it's
would be
undoable.
left?
Yeah,
Is that something that might be left to like modders and stuff like that?
So we will support modding. So as after release, there will be a lot of support coming for modding. I mean, not right away because we're focusing on finishing the game right now. But it will still be quite a challenge to do it. You do have the engine is there and it allows you to do a lot of stuff, really a lot of stuff already. But the problem is that the visuals that you have to put in are quite expensive to make in terms of time that you have to put in there. So there's no generating a dungeon thing. There's no easy way of rapidly putting a dungeon together. So you would have to spend time on it. You would need team to do it. But I'm not saying that's undoable. I mean, it's just the way that it is right now.
Okay.
Speaking of that, and there's a couple questions that we just had literally 50 plus people ask. And of course, this is super early, and I was even debating asking this because the game's not even out yet. But have you guys alluded to or talked about more content coming in the future for Baldur's Gate 3 or anything like that? Or are you just focusing on the release 100%?
I'm not going to say 100%, but pretty much 100%, definitely right now. So no, we've been obviously. I mean, like we're a studio like any other, right? So we already know what we're going to do next, but we haven't alluded to it at all externally. I don't think so.
Awesome. Just a quick mechanical question to slide in there. This is from LK Biohazard on Twitter. Will it be possible to trigger more than one companion scene per night at the camp? Currently in EA, due to the one limit, it can cause sometimes a scene to be missed.
So the camp system has been upgraded significantly. You got to be careful in what you think of as a missed night, because people have this completionist view, and you can't. You just can't. This game doesn't allow you to be completionist because you just can't see everything. So what it does is, for instance, I'll give you a really simple example. In one of the early nights that you have in early access, there's a moment where I think it's a second night or something like that. And you can talk to Shadowheart or Starn or Gale or whoever is in your camp, and they'll have an extensive dialogue. And then if you go talk to Shadowheart, you say, what were you two talking about? Right? If you would have gone to Shadowheart, she would have had her dialogue and nobody else would have said, what were you two talking about? Right? So you would already have to do it in the right sequence just to be able to get that moment with her and to consume all of the content. It's full of those things, right? It's full of things where you're never going to see things because they react to what you did. Trying to see everything is just not going to work. What I can tell you is that the game has systems in place, and people will discover what they are, to make sure that if there's something that was important, you will not miss it. It will always make sure that you see everything that you need to see.
But not what you want to see.
But I don't want to.
How many times do I got to play this? How many times do I got to play this goddamn game to see everything?
It's going to be very hard, actually. I don't think there's anybody that's seen everything, unless you actually really use our debug tools.
All right. Swen's secret. What the fuck?
2. This is from Pure Establishment on Reddit. The question I have to ask Sven is what exactly he was talking about when back in an interview he said that he had this huge secret for years. The quote, I got a thing I can't talk about, so I've been sitting on this for years already. So you already know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what it is. I also know what I meant.
Have you divulged that secret?
I have, yes.
Was it the dark urge?
No, it was beer sex. No, it wasn't.
6 years ago, he just wanted to see what would happen if you included it in the game. He wanted to see
that is
two
some
animals.
Serious PR planning. Well done to you and the team.
No.
Right
like
before
seeing in my
release, they're
head,
gonna get.
I'm seeing in my head like the voiceover of the No Clip documentary be like, it all started in a very weird way.
Yeah, Sven's
With
just
bear
sitting in a
sex,
zoo
like
or something like
Baldur's
that.
Gate 3. He's like, I have an idea.
No, it was a dark urge. It was indeed a dark urge.
Yeah,
Cool.
That was the
Got
dark urge. That was something I always wanted to put in a game, and so the team embraced it. They came up with a really cool version of it, and you'll see it fits really well. It addresses a lot of stuff that I've seen people talk about that I couldn't talk about. So I enjoy it being in there now. So, and it's cool. But as much as I hate to say it, I wouldn't actually recommend it for people that play the first time.
Really?
Yeah. People will, I know. I mean, but I wouldn't. But it's fine.
That's actually what their last campfire talk or whatever they had. The lady was like, I would recommend it for your first playthrough. And now he's saying, I personally think, I think most people are saying don't play Dark Urge because you end up killing everyone. And it kind of fucking ruins the game. But then again, that's preference. She's fired. I mean, again, it's like you're just going to miss characters. Because the Dark Urge just makes you kill people. But I guess, that's funny for your first experience. I guess it's however you want it. Like, maybe you play the game again, you're like, what the fuck? This person doesn't die? Wait, this is like a full-on, like, storyline character. So it's like, sure, you can do that, or you can get it, and then you play the Dark Urge after, like, holy fuck, I just killed that main character. And you can just see how ridiculous the Dark Urge can be. Rather than not realizing how big of a deal it is that you killed. I don't know. I think Viki might be playing Dark Urge. God help us. I don't know. We'll see.
It just gives you, because you get different versions of the story.
All right, respecs. I want to see this.
You can respec everything, and you can respec through the game also. There's a gold price to be paid, but you can respec anybody. The only things that are actually locked in are the subclasses of 2 of our origin characters when you start playing, when you recruit them. But you can respec in any case, so that's really matter.
Great.
Can you say who are the 2? Say more details. Who are the ones that cannot respec their subclass? I need to know. This is important. Shadowheart and Gale. Fuck. I don't want to play any other character. Oh my god. And Will? Oh yeah, Will also has like that warlock, whatever the fuck going on. Like, could I make Gale a druid? Play as Lae'zel? Fuck that. Not playing her.
It's just, but in their head, they will always have that in their background. That's important to say. Like, Will will always be a warlock. He will, because his story doesn't work if he wasn't a warlock.
Elson will always be a druid.
Yes, exactly, but not necessarily. And but he will, even if you respec him, he will still be a druid narratively, because otherwise that would become impossible.
Right.
Okay.
And
So interesting. He's basically saying Halsin is a druid for the narrative, but you can still play as like a wizard. So it's just for dialogue. Okay, I wasn't sure if they were going to do that. This changes things. Fuck. I wish you could just respec them when you like select the origin character then, rather than have to play through, the first half of the first act and then respec. It will be weird as F? No. I wouldn't find it that weird. Halsin isn't an origin. Sure, but let's say, I don't know, Gale, right? So Gale, I don't know his story, but he's a wizard. Could I just fully deep dive him into Druid? Like, just deep Druid, not a single point anywhere else. Because I was worried, like, sure, you can spec Gale into Druid, but you're going to have 1 point in Wizard. Simple as that, and you cannot remove it. Probably can't remove level 1 Wizard. Oh. Fuck. Yeah, I hate that. Either way.
Those 2 little specific side classes, if you were to respec out of them, you could respec back into them on those 2 characters? They're not gone forever if you respec out of them?
No. You can just keep on respecing. You meet a character that allows you, that gives you a narrative reason why you can respec, and so
you can. This chat is so fucking stupid.
Hello, I want to respec, and says this amount of gold, please. He said I don't have any gold.
Yeah, we'll find out. Fuck.
Fair enough.
Awesome.
Fair enough.
That's it for me.
Yeah, final question
Big thanks
for
to everyone
me.
who submitted questions.
Yeah, thank you so much for one putting that thread out and everyone else. There was like 200, 300 responses on Reddit. It was, it was wild. People are very excited for the game and had a lot of questions. Final question for me is what's the next like week look like for you? Is it heads down? I mean, you submitted the game you said today, but you're still doing some bug fixes. But are you in the office normal times? Like everything normal?
Longer days than usual, but it's a triage really. You always decide what do we put into the final game, what do we leave for a patch. You have these lists that accumulate, and so it's the triage process. It's the most boring thing in the universe. It's really not a lot of fun. But it has to happen. It's an important part of a release. But that's been life. I've been playing a lot, so I'll be playing a lot also. The entire team is playing right now.
It's almost done.
So everybody's playing what they've been working on for all this time. And so basically as a final big beta test, for sure issues will come up. There will be panic, everything that's associated with the release.
How it goes.
Exactly.
Is launch day just a 24-hour whirlwind for you? Where
sitting by the bat phone waiting for the call?
Yeah.
So, well, we have two... It's a really good question because our studio heads have been asking this the entire time. What do we do? Do we do a big party? Don't we do a big party? Do we do a big party? Don't we do a big party? So I don't know. I mean, like if there's something that we missed. So typically when you release something, there's always a hot fix because there's something that you missed and you don't know what it's going to be. It's like device driver 320,000.A does not work and it's like 5% of the internet has it. Do something. And then that kind of thing. So that's the hot fix process. So we have two release parties planned. We have one for the release date and one a week later. The one a week later.
The party, the actual party.
The actual party. The one that you can, actually drink at.
And relax.
Yeah, let loose a little bit. Yeah.
And the day itself, depending on how it goes, we'll see. We don't know. We actually really, this is a huge game. It's very large.
Sure.
Right? So it's large. So we don't know.
I think I speak for a lot of us. It still blows our mind that with a game this large, that you guys were like, you know what, we're gonna do this a month earlier than we anticipated. Like it's mind blowing. That sets a lot of hopefully great expectations on how you feel about the state of the game. So we're very very excited. For sure.
We were also late actually, and so that's it's nice. So, we're early in our
getting
release.
specific.
You said it, not us. You said it.
We were gonna just leave that a little, amorphous. But
No, it was also the split between the console and PC that made it possible. So moving the console later suddenly removed a bunch of pressure. This allowed us to release the PC version earlier. So,
all right,
find out very soon.
Cool. Zeke, you got any final questions?
I had one last question. Will it be optimized for Steam Deck?
I knew it.
You had that.
All right. And then it looks like
surprised on Twitter. So anything
do,
to say here at the
actually.
final? Yeah.
It was one of those other secrets. There's still a few secrets we haven't divulged, and one of these secrets, I think, is ready to be announced now. Not so long. Well, it's been several months by now. A certain gentleman visited us in our recording studios in Guildford.
Fuck, I wish I could see Twitch chat with this.
And so recorded a character to be put into game. So, and I think we have a little video that you can watch how that particular gentleman did. I think he did pretty well, to be honest.
Let's see how it goes. By the way, I'm the only person that's seen it. I think Sven's seen it as well, but Co and Zeke have not. So here we go.
I just watched this, but I still want to.
There's a character who's written to be intentionally incredibly annoying, and people who've played the original games will likely recognize certainly the line from which he's descended.
My name's Narber, adventurer to be, soon to be the best adventurer anyone's ever seen.
So the minute you meet him, he starts
I love
following you around,
Astarian's
constantly
face.
pestering you. And you can try and tell him to shut up, and he just doesn't.
Happy birthday, dear. Now why would I do that? Oh, wow, that sounds awful. I don't think I want to sound like that.
So the game gives you an incredible amount of freedom. So if in real life you met Co Carnage in the street, you could decide to push him in the river. In the game, if you meet Co Carnage in the street, you could push him in the river.
Excuse me.
But you really shouldn't push Co Carnage into the river in real life.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Swimmer. No drowning for me.
You can kill him and he still won't stop talking.
Why are you leaving me? I have so much more to tell you.
So stupid.
Fantastic.
Oh man,
It's
it has
look,
been
I was upset.
so hard not talking about this for months.
I was upset until I saw the fact that we could push him off a cliff, and then I was like, "Great, I'm just gonna, quick save."
All right, that's awesome. All right, I've seen it. Let's open this here game.